back in town. Welcome to week 10 of the BEBC
BS
Podcast. Coming to y'all live on a Friday night, not from Allen, Texas.
What? South.
We are not in Allen.
We're not in Allen anymore.
We are on remote.
We are? We are big time.
Remote broadcast.
We have taken the show south today, as it is Allen's bye week. No football in Allen, but
We went down to Allen South.
Chaparral and 15?
we're at Clark. Actually, we're further down than that. We have made our way to Katy, believe it or not.
It's near
Actually,
Houston for you geographically.
We're not
challenged.
in Katy. We are not in Katy.
No, we're not.
You are in Katy ISD, but you are actually in the city of Fulshear.
Fulshear, Texas.
Fulshear. Gesundheit.
And we have moved our show outdoors to the patio, where it's a balmy, what's the temperature, Alan?
82 degrees Fahrenheit.
82 degrees.
Feeling
Tonight,
clammy.
we have spent the evening at the new
Legacy.
Whoa.
Oh,
Mike
Johnson
Field
at Legacy
Stadium.
And if you don't know, Mike Johnson is a legend. He is a true legend. We'll hear more about him a little bit.
Later, we sure will. But
We have a poacher,
Episcopalian?
Hello. It's always religion. We also have a picture that y'all can look at.
Oh,
Picture
we
Coach
do.
Johnston.
We do have
Yeah.
a picture. But
It's
we
awesome.
spent the
We'll
evening
attach it to this broadcast.
watching Katy play Cinco Ranch at Katy's homecoming game.
Their
That's
second,
it.
game,
There you go.
their second game of the season.
Yeah,
It was their second game of the season.
they've had a few delays.
They have. So let's take a first a little bit and let's talk about the stadium, because that is a brand spanking new stadium. We were shown that it had no cracks in the concrete very quickly when we arrived.
It was a feature.
I didn't recognize it as a stadium
It was a
initially.
feature.
It didn't have any cracks. So I'm not sure if it's real or not.
Oh, and I'm thinking the concession stand was selling Skittles, so they weren't worried about staining the coating. So that's
Do they have
feature.
Skittles? Do you know?
They got Skittles.
They do have Skittles.
They
Yeah.
got Skittles.
I know.
Wow.
I know. I saw that.
So they one-upped Allen already. Dang it. All right. Let's talk about the stadium. The outside appearance, when we left, it reminded me of the Omni Hotel.
Yes.
Leaving was much more impressive than coming in. You don't get the full ambiance of the stadium facade, but they have the ability to light up, I guess, different colors, maybe any kind of designs or just colors. So
Dominant home team colors lit up on the outside of the stadium.
it's a nice feature.
That's pretty cool.
That Katy red.
And that is because that stadium is shared by 7 high schools.
Actually 8 high schools now. 7
Yeah.
playing varsity football, and we've got Pato High School that now is playing freshman and sophomore.
Awesome.
They'll get into the stadium also.
It's coming.
So 8 high schools playing there. We saw 2 of them tonight. It was the first district game. And stadium was
Well,
great.
actually, you saw 3 Katy schools tonight. Because from Legacy, if you look just to your right, you saw Road
Morton
Stadium
Ranch.
too. And Morton Ranch was playing over there.
They did. I don't remember how much I looked down there, but it was going on. There
I
were
looked
2.
once.
And that's because that wall's a little bit.
We heard the
lower
band.
than your eyesight.
I think the commissioner checked in as saying she was over there, but we quickly corrected her on that because she was not over there at that stadium.
That would have been a Facebook faux pas.
Oh my gosh!
Hello.
You know that's probably a fine in there somewhere for that. So, love the digs. Field looked great.
Yeah, good.
Field was very nice.
It was east-west as all stadiums should be.
Stadiums within
Yeah.
a class.
Carol.
6,000 seats on each side. Not one side larger than the other.
Which I find very interesting.
Well, when you're sharing it with your district ball mates, that makes sense. So, pretty cool. Anybody else have anything on the stadium?
Just our band would take up half of one side.
Yeah. But for Katy schools, it
It's
seemed
what
to
they
fit
wanted.
perfect.
The voters approved it. They
Yeah.
seemed to like it. A lot of fervent fans there.
How many times will that sell out this year?
You know what? I would say probably, depending on the season, depending on the teams, we probably get a sellout 3, maybe 4 times. But you know what? It wasn't about selling out a stadium in 12,000 seats, yeah, we'd like to put a person in it every time, but it was about needing another stadium. There was never a disagreement of needing another stadium. The disagreement was sometimes on the cost of the stadium. And y'all experienced that. We experienced that at one time.
It's just like living at home and your wife wants a new car. And y'all disagree on how much you should spend on that car, so it's not anything out of the ordinary.
Why should she get anything more than a Kias?
Wow. Pick on your wife, sir.
I
Yes,
have a
Alan.
question.
Hang on.
I'm confused.
About?
We're sitting out here on the veranda. It's a beautiful night, 82 degrees, and I keep hearing all this information coming from somewhere about this stadium, and I don't know where this is coming from.
Oh, okay.
Should we
Then I
introduce
No.
introduce the
Wait,
source
I
of
thought
such
I
information?
was the secret guest.
Mystery.
Jumped the
It's
gun.
like
The mystery
Mystery.
guest.
Well, I was just confused. I'm not very
What's
smart,
that?
as you all
What's that?
know,
Hey, let's do this. Let's just give hints throughout this podcast.
of who it is. That's a good
Who it
idea.
is.
That is
Yeah.
a great
See-
idea.
Like a
To
clue,
see
hints.
if our
Yeah,
listeners,
Okay.
all 2 or 3.
There's a reason. There's a reason he gets paid the big bucks, ladies and gentlemen.
And the hits just keep coming.
We'll just keep
Okay.
going
All
along.
right.
As he commented that we needed to be on our best behavior tonight.
Which I think we were.
You were.
Anybody disagree?
And I
So we're
appreciate
good.
y'all wearing your Katy Tiger red.
It's the least we could do.
We actually thought it looked a little more like Cinco than Katy.
Yeah, it's true.
Colorblind, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's got to plain out the color.
They are BEBC.
And I really appreciate you guys not walking up with those bibs.
Wow. Okay, on to the game. Final score, Katy 30. Cinco Ranch
Zilch.
0.
Cinco Ranch killed themselves in that whole game.
4 interceptions.
4 interceptions.
1 for a touchdown.
One was a pick six. They just the offensive line could not keep that Katy defensive
Right.
line from out of the backfield, and they were pressuring that quarterback. And he never had time, and when he did throw a ball, it was typically a bad ball.
Bad decision.
And they just came
And
all.
it was constant pressure. I was impressed by that defense.
Number 98 and number
Front
46.
three and one
so-
middle linebacker is just unreal. They're unreal.
It's,
That's typical Katy.
I was fixing to
They
say the
always-
exact same thing.
Katy's going to put a defense on the field, and you're going to have to score. And beat them. I guess that's the name of the game.
Well, it was interesting sitting up there in the press box where we were, and
Did y'all not
Hey, did y'all
see a
hear that,
legend?
Allen ISD administration?
I got tired of the bikini girls with the palm fronds, fanning us with the grapes and all that stuff. It was
And serving
I
our
did.
girls.
We can have that every week. But they kept asking us, "Are y'all here scouting Katy?" And my response to them was, "You don't need to scout Katy because
Everyone
Katy does
knows.
the same thing and has done the same thing for years."
But done it well and successful.
And that's the thing. They do it well, and they say, "Here we are, stop us."
They bring the heat when it comes to defense. There's no doubt about that.
And so I didn't see anything tonight that surprised me. Cinco Ranch had some players, too. Their number 98 defensive end was a player.
Yeah.
I guess his brother was number 14.
14 on offense.
Yeah.
And
that
I'll
dude
say,
was a stud too. By the way, when he did get a little gap, he would knock some people over on that ball.
So it was 14-0 Katy at halftime. Cinco Ranch hung in there. Second half started, and it just kind of got out of control.
I mean, Cinco was driving the ball, and they would it was a bad decision, a pick deep into Katie's territory.
That's true.
I mean, they were driving the ball in the first half, and the second half that changed a little bit. Obviously, Cinco kind of got off track per se because they were down by so far and started doing things a little more.
That's Katy football.
Well, yeah.
Cinco Ranch, whether you looked at the stats, they had 7 first downs in the first half.
Yeah, it was
Katie's 3 first downs.
You look at
Katy
this.
had a pick 6. They put 14 points on the board.
Yep.
But they took Cinco out of their game. They took all teams out of their game. And Katie's probably one of the best offense. I mean, when they go in at halftime, they make adjustments and they come out in the second half. They own and they put a team in a position where they're not playing their game.
when I tell you, I'll say some comments about Katie's offense. They did struggle a fair amount in the first half. Special teams was on fire. Defense caused some turnovers. Special teams did a really good job. DeAndre Glass was returning from injury from last year.
Knee surgery.
had knee surgery. He is supposedly a little bit heavier than he should be, but it's a hard comeback from that type of surgery. And talking to a bunch of kids who've done it, he did an admirable job. He was starting. It was a little bit hard because the Katy offensive line was having hard. Cinco Ranch, you guys commented, was getting some good penetration at times, but he did get some runs going in the second half. So that was impressive. It was good to see him.
Let's make this point too. Let's not forget, Katy's got one game under their belt. Before that game, they only had 9 practices.
That's a struggle.
Because of the floods that hit the Houston area, all of the Region 4 schools are going to play an 8-game schedule. If they're lucky, they're trying to schedule 5-week games now, so they can pick up another game.
Well, hopefully that won't affect them when it comes to playoff time, and they'll be ready to go.
You know what? Keeping yourself a little bit fresh, 1 or 2 games, not playing on a schedule, maybe it shows up in the playoffs to be a benefit.
That's a good hint.
Yeah.
You know, as to who our special guest is, I'm just saying. I mean,
oh my gosh! By the way, we have a live studio audience tonight, and we appreciate them being here. And
we are big time.
we have reached the big time. Look, we even get a clap out of the audience.
You have to come down to Katy to reach
kind of
the
like
big
groupings.
time.
I don't know.
Oh, there you have it.
Boy, he sure has changed colors
Yeah,
quickly.
You know who y'all are talking about.
Yeah, we're going to get a refill.
So why don't you just
In the
leave?
meantime,
Katy has a great punter as well. There were some booming kicks this game.
Kicking game was very impressive for Katy. Except for their kickoffs, I couldn't figure out why they kept kicking it
Out of bounds. Yeah.
That's something coaches will fix. And again, second game.
9 practices.
A lot like
it's
some of the
impressive.
things we've seen in Allen that aren't just quite what they should be yet. And I think you saw some of that. It was interesting listening to the Katy folks in the press box. Bless you.
Excuse you, Nolan.
That was our special guest.
Sorry about that.
Coughing up a bone?
Was that Nolan in another hairball?
Yes, you heard it, didn't you? But
He's hacking the bone.
it was interesting
Wow.
just listening to
You
them.
want
And
them here.
in fact, as was mentioned, Mike Johnston, who was obviously a legacy coach down here, was sitting right behind us and to listen to his commentary.
Oh, you mean when he wasn't cutting us down?
Well, he was pretty good about
It's
it.
okay.
Just to listen to what he had to say about the players, and he was still well in tune with everything that was going on, and he knew,
All in all, it was a fun night.
Yes.
We had a good
Pleasure
time.
to meet him.
It was
Pleasure to meet the
Good being
mayor
with
of Katy.
Great host.
Yeah. The ultimate host, our athletic director, executive athletic
Yes. Hall of Fame.
Debbie Decker is
Debbie Decker, Hall of Allen.
Allen
Hall of
Eagle.
Fame.
We love you, Debbie.
Yes, thank you for your taking care of us and hosting us tonight. And
Go Eagles.
appreciate all that. Everybody up there was great.
I wonder who that superintendent is.
Well,
We don't want to talk
I'll
about
give you a
it too
hint in a
much.
minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's new.
we're getting
Well, and there's a lot to say about that.
Yeah, does anybody have anything else about the game or anything? The stadium game?
No, it was
environment?
painful. It was painful. It's kind of like a boil. Sometimes when it gets to a point, you just need to lance it and get it over with.
That is true. But
That was
Whoa.
I
Yeah,
really,
that is gross.
that was gross.
Welcome.
But it was pretty funny too.
it's really good to
Podcast.
see for a team that's had 9 practices in one game, they sure know how to tackle.
They did know.
Oh my gosh.
Signature Katy.
Yeah,
That was enjoyable.
it's
to watch.
impressive to watch. Alan and I spoke quite a bit during the game on the specific plays, and we break it down and say, "Did you see what they just did? Did you see what they just did?" And it was spot on what they were doing. Well coached. You could
Two
tell.
great minds.
The one thing I will say, I saw Katy throwing the ball a little more tonight than they normally have in the past. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that the running back is coming back from injury and so forth. It looked impressive. They had some nice plays, with both from a running standpoint as well as the passing.
They actually looked stronger in the fourth quarter, I think.
Yeah, they really did.
Well, and I'll say other passing game. It was a short passing game. Though.
Sure.
there was
Well,
there
but it was
nothing down the
effective.
field.
But it
So,
was
but
effective.
that's the way if you need to beat Katy, that's how you beat Katy. Is you get ahead of Katy and you make them throw the ball,
Make them
because
throw
then
the
it's a
ball.
whole different ball game for those guys. So, but anyhow, they were effective tonight. Shut them out. Very impressive. So they move on to week 3. They're undefeated, and we have now seen them, and maybe
We'll see him back
again.
there around the 20th or December. So
Weekend before Christmas, maybe.
that'd be nice.
Could be.
Of course, it's going to be a burden for them to have to travel up to DFW if they get there.
That is an unfair advantage we'll hear about immediately.
Let me tell you what, y'all have seen it before. The Sea of Red will appear.
Oh.
We've seen it. We've seen it
Yes.
before.
Well,
They helped us.
we have this
They helped us set
They'll
the
bring our Sea
all-time
of Red.
attendance record.
Yeah,
And,
sure it is.
There'd be 60,000 people there if Alan and Katy played.
Oh, I would project higher.
That would
than
set
Higher
another
than-
record.
I mean, it would be
That set
massive.
another
The
record.
high school attendance record of all time.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll happen. We'll wait and see.
Maybe if that happens, we'll get Moses to part the Red Sea and we'll go on to victory.
There you go. Well, if you
Moses
haven't
Moore.
figured it out by now, folks, we are sitting on the 82-degree patio of Dr. Lance Hindt and his lovely wife, Catherine. They have invited us to spend the night at their house. And the voice you heard,
Did you hear that? Spend the night at
their house. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
we are at the estate, and yeah.
It's actually
James,
a ranch.
James and Nolan are sleeping in a twin-sized bed together.
I
They're
don't
Spooning.
think so.
I will send some pictures. All right.
Welcome to Dr. Hindt. Thank you for joining us tonight.
And
Only
I'm
question
not
I
wearing
have-
a polka dot Speedo.
I went up there and saw y'all put pillows on both ends of the bed. So how is that going to work out?
We may have to do another podcast in the
I'm
morning to get an
speechless.
explanation for that.
Yeah. There will be a pay-per-view podcast come later.
The
Yeah.
pay-per-view, yeah. Hell no.
Okay.
Oh, so thank you for joining. You are our first guest on 10 podcasts, and we appreciate you taking the time to do this. We know you have had
He feels very honored, I can tell.
one heck of a month, sir.
Good a month.
And
Absolutely.
it's a lot worse than stadium cracks because it really
But you know, the stadium cracks somewhat prepared me a little bit.
well that's
Ooh,
that's
I
good to
like
hear.
that.
I'll tell you what, it prepared me on the media side, but nothing will ever prepare you for a natural disaster that comes in and affects 15,007 kids, 2,600 employees, puts a city at its knees for 5-6 days, and then you still have the lingering effects. You saw that in Cinco Ranch tonight. I truly do believe that. Cinco Ranch High School, one of those neighborhoods over there, was probably the worst hit in our school district. You probably got I think they counted about 500 students at that campus that their homes were underwater, now living in apartments with relatives, friends, etc. So, that can take an emotional toll on a community. And unfortunately, they gave it all they could tonight, but football probably wasn't first on their mind.
Football's probably a good little break for them.
Oh, no doubt about it. Let me tell you that I've said this all along. If there are two communities that are very much alike, it is Allen and Katy. And let me tell you what, because the community rallies behind its school. Katy's got 8 of them, all right, but the community is still one Katy. And it didn't matter about schools when this thing happened. Katy High School is giving assistance to Cinco High School, and those neighborhoods all across the district. It's a really neat place. It's just a little bit bigger, and it's got a few more schools.
Well, what has been the biggest challenge since this started for you? We'll talk professionally now, but we won't ask you personally. But professionally, what's been the biggest challenge that you've had during this whole? Again, people don't realize, again, we're talking about Hurricane Harvey and what happened down here in the greater Houston area specifically. So, what for you personally, or professionally, what was the biggest challenge you had?
Biggest challenge I had was we had 67 schools in Katy. We have 67 schools. You got 40 elementary schools, and then the remaining balance are your secondary schools. When the storm hit, all the water came in, and we had 16 schools that were affected by the water. Either their neighborhoods were mandatory evacuation. We could see from the air and the sky that the schools had water in them. And then, being out of school for 10 days and not being able to get to the schools because the National Guard or the county judges couldn't let you in, we didn't know when we were going to get school back up. So working the plan, trying to figure out, okay, 16 schools is what we started with. and we started working a plan to where we're going to relocate 16 schools, partner up with other schools. But as each day went forward and we were able to get to schools, we could remediate them, take care of air quality tests, plumbing, electrical, make sure that the water intrusion we can take care of. We've got schools right now that have carpet that's been ripped out, but we can still teach, and things like that. That was the big hard part. Not only that, but also giving a resource to our community. We opened up 3 shelters, during the whole time. At Cinco Ranch High School, one at Morton Ranch High School, Cinco Ranch Junior High. We had 4,000 folks that utilized. And let me tell you something, folks. Don't think that these were people. We're talking about $1 million homes that got flooded, and we're talking about $200,000 homes or less. It didn't. It had no. It didn't.
It affected
everybody. Absolutely. So we knew we had an issue there. 2,600 employees were affected by this. I'm going to tell you something. Don't let this secret out. But if your bus drivers don't show up, you can't have school. All right. And we were looking at it, 10,000 employees in Katy, and we figured out about 2,600 were affected by this. So those were all the challenges that went with us. Now on top of that, we had the National Guard that came in and took a hold of Katy High School. Let me just say this on air. When you get a telephone call and it's the Lieutenant Governor's office and they ask for a campus, you say sure. And then when they come and take that campus, they commandeer the campus, right? Same thing with FEMA. The feds came in and took a hold of Legacy Stadium and Road Stadium. We had 250 or 300 DPS officers. We had 24 different Task Force 1 units from 24 different states. So we were really the hub of all operations here. So we were dealing with floods. We had these agencies in, and on top of that, our administration building took 18 inches of water, and our data system went down. So we learned quickly how to utilize smoke signals. We went back to the old.
Sweet, like when I was in high school.
Pagers.
Yeah. We made it work, and I'll tell you, we're really proud of this. Let me just give you an indication. When we shut our doors, we had 77,560 kids. Right? When we opened our doors back up 10 days later, we actually added 81 students, and we had 96% attendance rate.
Wow.
Most school districts lose kids because we gain kids, even with the loss of the homes that we had here. Very proud, of what we're doing here. I could go on and on and on about individuals, this or that. But what I can say is, had this happened to Allen, I know that community would have done the same thing. And let me give Allen some credit. They sent us $30,000 worth of school supplies to give to Creech Elementary School that's without a school, to give Bear Creek Elementary School that's been out of their school for 2 weeks. I mean, we had communities come together and work for us and help us out. So it ventured far out of just Katy. It got all the way to Allen ISD.
Yeah, and a shout out where you speak of that. I'll shout out to the AHS pals too, because they adopted Kingwood High School as well. I don't know if you know that as well. They've been raising money for a couple of weeks now. They're going to send down to Kingwood as well, so that's pretty cool that they've been doing that. It's good to hear that. And I saw that they had raised money for Katy ISD as well. So sounds like it's been a busy couple of weeks for you. Are the things slowing down some, or you still got a lot going on?
Finished off our second week of school.
Yep.
And things are getting back to what we call post-Harvey normal.
Yeah.
We're still out of the admin building. Won't be back in there. I love it because I've always been a mobile superintendent. I don't like offices.
Yep.
So I office out of my truck. And I move from campus to campus, and I find places that, as long as I have a cell phone and iPad, I'm good to go. We're getting back to, but it's going to take us a year, and maybe more to recover. If I could only show you guys some visuals, you can't imagine it until you see it. Yeah. All right. And right now the issue is we've gotten in homes. We actually used a day of service in Katy where staff came back and we told everybody, those of us that are back, let's get back out into our communities. Let's help teachers. Let's help staff members, students, families. We went out and spent a whole day, 7,500 employees, helping folks in the community rip out carpets, sheetrock, those type of things.
Yeah.
But now the issue is there's no trash trucks to come pick those things up, and adjusters getting into these houses and contractors. It's going to be a year before we get back to some normalcy around here.
Hurricanes are no joke.
Texas strong, Katy tough.
There you go.
Yeah.
So awesome. Anybody have any questions? The man's right here. We have him.
I'm overwhelmed just listening to him.
Yeah.
We can do this all night, right?
Yeah.
Are you getting a little emotional?
No, not at all.
No.
Well, it's a heck of a story, and what I'm curious about is can you relay maybe one or two just kind of circumstances that you ran into that were just especially moving of people helping other people and exceptionalism? You don't necessarily have to name names, but what kind of strikes you about that?
You know what? I mean, I could spend all night talking about certain individuals. But when you go to a neighborhood that's underwater and you see more than just the National Guard going in there, you see patron navies showing up, people with a flat bottom boat just getting in there and helping people get out. I mean, we had groups coming down all the way from Louisiana, the Cajun Navy.
Yeah,
we're down here, and we had folks from all over the Houston area coming in here. Let me tell you, when a catastrophe hits, as damaging as it can be, it really shows the spirit of humans, right?
Yep.
Because it doesn't matter what your skin color is, what your religion is, what your beliefs are, they come together to make things happen and to take care of individuals. It's unfortunate that only catastrophes bring that about. You know?
Yes, it
It
is.
didn't matter if you were Republican, a Democrat, an independent, they were working to help each other out.
So what you're following on, people tend to forget about emergencies and disasters. What do you see as kind of an ongoing thing that people can maybe do, or ways that they can continue to help in the months and as we go on? It's a little bit tough and a little bit kind of
You can never be prepared. I mean, in the school business, you guys know, we've all been there as students, and you're always doing the drills, but until you're really in the real drill, you don't know. I will tell you this, that organic things happen. They just happen. We never were in the shelter business. Yeah. And organically, we had shelters, and we just opened our doors and learned how to be a shelter, through the kindness and generosity of our community. I will say this, when you put out a tweet or put something on Facebook and say we need blankets, let me tell you what, you better be prepared to take
them
some
on.
blankets.
Yeah.
All right? And you guys know what I'm talking about. But we also knew that we couldn't turn people away, because those that weren't affected by the storm, we wanted to make sure that they could feel good also. So we took anything and everything, and what we did then was to reach out to less fortunate areas down in the Galveston area or Bay City area, and we're able to work through our faith-based organizations to take some of the things that we brought in down to them, so that it's a sharing. It's an amazing thing.
It sounds very much like Trusted World, which we're all fond of. Their motto is helping people help people, and that's exactly what y'all ended up doing. So that's good to hear, because again, the needs are different in different places, and so if you get stuff you didn't need, you find people who do need it, and you make sure that they get it.
So the difference between this one, most catastrophes are isolated.
Yeah.
It's a tornado that hits this area.
Yeah.
Or even a hurricane comes in and hits a specific area. This was from Beaumont all the way down to Corpus
Huge.
Christi. That affected this region.
So, incredible story. I mean, we all witnessed it from afar, and we thought about you. In fact, we told you to come up and stay with us if you needed to. And glad you didn't have to.
I knew you'd put me in a twin-size bed with no I'd rather stay here.
Spoon him. Hello.
Just a spoon in.
Well, and like you said, Mark, because I was in London when all this was happening, and I was getting a lot of video clips from my son-in-law, and just to see, and even on the news, to see the little video clips of people waist deep in water, grabbing people by the arm and pulling them across the street, doing all that, being so far away from home, and seeing America like it truly is, just people caring about each other and helping each other out. That, speaking of Alan getting emotional, I mean, that's, was emotional. I mean, I still am thinking about that when you see how people, like Lance was saying, don't care about your race, beliefs, anything. You're just a person, and all they want to do is help you.
Didn't you say that there was a shelter that allowed them to bring their animals into them too?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
That's great.
Katy ISD, we opened up 3 shelters. Let me tell you, I am a dog and animal lover.
Mm-hmm.
And when we opened the shelter, the question was asked of me, well, are we going to let them bring their pets? Hell yeah. All right? And let me tell you this, too. Don't let anybody tell you that a parrot that has clipped wings can't fly. I saw it happen at Dorn Ranch High School, and it took us 2 hours to get the parrot back into
The crisis within the crisis.
Yeah. We had some humor. We had fun with the pets. It was like Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Well, thanks for sharing. I know
Yeah.
this has
Thanks,
been
Lance.
tough on y'all, and we really didn't ask you about this until we got here today, if you'd be willing to do this, so we appreciate you just taking time and hanging with us and doing that. Again, we appreciate your hospitality, too, and for everything you've done. You're a great friend to us. We've known you for several years now. We appreciate you, and all you did for Alan while you were there and all you're doing for Katy now, you're well respected. And we can't say enough good things about you, although we do have a few bad things to say about you, the way you treated us tonight.
Oh, I had to have a little fun.
Come on, brother.
After you told us to be in our best behavior.
What did I do?
Well, I was the butt of many jokes.
As
Well,
usual.
monkey
Well,
butt.
that is
Is
pretty
that a
typical.
capital butt?
Yeah.
Monkey
well,
butt?
But I will tell you this.
Puppy
Before
monkey
I
baby.
left the stadium,
Yep.
I had to call my custodial crew, which is the best custodial crew in the world, and I told them to sanitize the press box. Sanitize it of all the little Allen Eagle magnets that were stuck all over the place.
Dude, you
in
have-
the bathroom.
you have
in
no
the
idea.
You have no
have
idea.
no
You'll
idea.
never,
place.
you'll never find them.
It's taking years to find and clean
Yeah,
up. That's
yeah,
going to be.
I know.
You know, that reminds me of
came
a
loaded to bear with those bad boys.
reminds me of a Karen Carpenter song.
Oh, what's that?
Oh, good Lord.
You've only just begun. Because I think Superintendent Hindt will find things down the road that he didn't know there were places that could be hidden.
I'm going to check all my
Okay.
cars and vehicles. I'm telling you.
No, it's like in a pet. It's like
You
in
need to
a
make
pet.
sure you check every crevice.
And let me
Yeah.
tell you what, if you got a Allen Eagle tattoo on my wife in the last few hours, I'll find it too.
Really?
That's a
Eventually.
sacrifice. You are willing to
I
sacrifice.
found the last one.
Anything the gallery wants to share over there?
There's a little redness
No.
over there.
Well, thank you again for stepping in here. Just quickly, we did our picks this week, and by golly, we picked, as we always did, the high school games we picked were Lone Star and Denton Ryan, Lovejoy and Highland Park, Cinco Ranch and Katy, Westlake, Austin Bowie, and New Braunfels, by the way, whose mascot is a unicorn, FYI.
Oh, Alan, you fit right in.
And they played Judson tonight, and everybody got every game right. So we are perfect on the high school.
Dang.
front.
We were close to not being from last night's Frisco Lone Star Denton Ryan game.
Yeah.
Whatever.
A shout out to Kirby Bennett for trying to lead his team to win there. That did not happen. Ryan held him on the 1 yard line on the last play of the
Last
game.
play of the game.
So that was a pretty
We've
exciting
been
game.
there too, right?
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
done that.
we've done that.
All that lacrosse training didn't help him out.
Well,
Not
he
too
didn't
much.
have the ball in his hand, so it wasn't him they tackled.
Yeah.
Very good game between the number 1 and number 2 5A schools in the DF Dub. So anyhow, all of us were perfect. We're all 5-0 as we
We're
start the week.
geniuses.
So that's a good thing for us.
Let the fun begin
Okay,
tomorrow.
next week, district play opens. The Eagles are at home,
Oh, yes, we are.
hosting McKinney Boyd.
Gosh dang. How'd y'all get that schedule this year?
What's
Seven.
This is 4 games in a row.
Well,
Right?
because
7 home
all
games.
the
No. You're supposed to say it's because the former superintendent said it.
And that's
Wait, okay,
probably
Oh, that
right.
guy, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Who
he
was
did.
that again?
I don't know.
Yeah. But Boyd comes to town, and we thought initially Boyd might be the cellar dweller in the district, but they've played actually they played Coppell very close until the last 5 minutes, and they actually beat Louisville. And, so I don't know what to expect from them. I think they're a Jekyll and Hyde team. So
I think they're going down hard.
I would tend to agree with you on that. I think all of us.
I'll take the Allen Eagles. I'll give you 27.
Whoa, we even have a line there.
Write that down.
We haven't won a game by that much yet this season.
I'm going to go with the Eagles.
I think
We scored
had
27 yet?
Little
Oh, yeah,
stronger,
I guess
we have.
27 or best.
little stronger competition than McKinney. So we'll see. But I think all of us will pick the everybody around the table picking the Eagles next week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thad's not here.
Thad may not. He's a lone wolf. He likes
Well,
to go off.
Thad will pick the Eagles. I have no doubt he will. We'll get our scores in next week so we can take care of that. So, anybody have anything else? Ladies, y'all have anything? No one wants to speak up. They're all being quiet back there. They got all shy. You know, the minute we're going to stop the podcast.
Commissioner?
She's still looking.
My brother George is here.
So from now it's 80-degree porch.
There's
really
a
comfortable.
chill in the air.
There's a chill in the air. I feel the cold front coming in.
And it's from the gallery.
Look at James's forehead, or no, look at his 12 head. All right, you can see that moisture just.
It's
It
dewy.
is.
It's-
I parked in front of your house and
Well,
I
I can
stepped out.
you guys.
I know, I'm
doing
That's
that.
really a vision I don't want to have
And
in
I
my
was
brain.
like, this feels just like Florida. It brought me memories back. I was like, oh. So,
By the way,
Yeah.
but I did
Right.
see.
It's glistening.
You gotta be tough to live down
Yeah,
there.
you do.
All right? You gotta be tough.
You
Look at me.
will
You see any sweat?
No,
You
my
never sweat.
I never sweat.
Next
It's because
week,
you
though,
work
You're, the,
out
ne-
so
you're
much.
the next Old Spice spokesman.
There you go.
Next Friday night forecast is for a high of 77 on Friday. So
And
I'm
rain.
bringing my down
And
jacket.
rain.
and rain.
Rain?
and rain.
Oh, I don't want rain delays.
Well,
Cold front, football weather finally arriving.
Do you want to talk about any of our college picks here?
If you
Break
want to,
out my
we can
Well,
go
yeah,
through
let's just go through
Let's
real
run
quick
through.
the games.
college picks. Here's the games of this week. Houston and Texas Tech.
I gotta have another one.
Houston.
We have we're
Guess.
guest speaker here.
Keep
We'll let
going.
you
We need to
go.
write
Keep
that
going.
down.
Name them up. Name them up. I'll
Oh,
give you the
okay, here he
All right,
goes.
Houston and Tech.
Houston.
All right. Michigan, Notre Dame.
Ooh, Michigan.
I'm sorry. Michigan State, Notre Dame. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Notre Dame.
Okay. Oklahoma State, TCU at
Oklahoma
Stillwater.
State.
All right. Arkansas travels to A&M.
No, that's in Dallas.
Oh, excuse me.
Same thing.
Arkansas travels to
Go
Texas.
Suey.
Whoa. All right.
Maybe some more spooning tonight.
That'll be two of us.
Washington and Mr. Levi.
Washington.
Levi Onzo-Ricky.
There you go. Travel to Colorado to play the Bucks.
I'll go with Washington.
Yeah.
only because I like Levi.
There you
There
go.
you go.
All right, we go to the pros.
It looks like a three.
Detroit is
He is.
hosting Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
Detroit against Cinco Ranch.
Hey,
What?
Detroit's got the line.
I'll go Detroit.
Whoa.
Motor City.
There you go. Kansas City is at the LA Chargers.
Kansas City.
All right, Houston goes to New England.
I go with my boys, Houston.
And we just got him on that.
Wow, that was a good one.
The Giants head to
Stretch.
Philadelphia.
Hey. I'm going to go with Philly.
Philly.
Eagles all the
And
way.
Dallas goes to Arizona at Monday night.
I can't stand
You're
the Cowboys,
hesitating.
Arizona.
You're
He
hesitating.
can't stand
What
the Cowboys.
Wow, he gets back down here and
I'm
he's just
telling you,
turncoat.
because- no, I never turned when I was up there. You see that thing on that wall over there?
Yeah.
What thing?
Toro with
Yeah.
Texans?
Pool?
It stayed on my wall in Dallas. I was never a Cowboys fan.
Maybe the little
Alright.
Hispanic
I only
man
liked
with
the
the
Rangers because Nolan Ryan was there for a little bit.
Well,
Wow.
so tell me, is it Is it Jerry Jones? What is it about the Cowboys?
I
that-
like. Well,
Oh, no.
let's just go back to old school Cowboys. I liked it with old school. No, I don't.
Okay,
like
I'm
the
with you.
Jerry Jones.
I'm
I
with
don't-
you.
When it was Tex Schramm,
Danny
those
White, Tex
guys,
Schramm,
those-
yeah.
Just like I hated Tony
This
Romo.
one- Also, let's not forget, I'm an Oklahoma guy. You didn't ask me about my Oklahoma Baylor pick.
Well, do we
Because
need
that's
to
not
ask
one of the
That's
picks.
not a competitive game. And we only pick competitive.
We only pick
So let's
Okay,
not
okay,
forget,
what's your under?
Jimmy Johnson
Jimmy
was
Johnson.
at Oklahoma State, then Miami, and then he goes to the Cowboys, and then they finally hired a good coach after Jimmy Johnson got
please.
Barry Switzer in there. Hey, man.
This
right.
might be the most controversial podcast ever with that.
Barry
Talking about
take Switzer.
Let's talk about Oklahoma.
Piggyback. Oh,
How many
wait.
how many quarters will Kyler
Did I
Murray
leave my
play?
gun in my
Two
bag?
quarters.
Oh my God.
That's what I
Let
thought.
me tell you what, Baker Mayfield isn't about stats. I love the comment he made before the season started.
Wait, which
Was
comment
that
is that?
before or after he got arrested?
Oh,
I
you
hope
gotta bring
Kyler
up the
doesn't
arrest.
take my job.
Let me talk to you about the comment about the arrest. Yeah, some media guy asked him, well, do you think that your arrest is going to affect you on the Heisman Trophy? And he says, well, it ain't going to affect me when I win the national championship.
Face!
Quick.
Word!
Baseball.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know, Kyler's going to play.
Kyler will
Baker
play a
wants
lot.
him to play.
So how much do you think he's going to play this next game?
We
I
just
think
asked
you were-
that
I think
question.
you- Yeah, where were you?
Yeah, what were you?
I'm trying to focus you.
You're not paying
I'm trying to get
attention.
you focused.
Let's
I'm
back
seeing
up.
stacks of.
What?
Gotta rewind the
Myers,
podcast.
he's going to play 2 quarters.
I don't know about y'all, but this is podcast gold.
Anything else you want to say about OU while you have a mic?
No, I'll use number 2. Let me just leave it at that.
There you
Ohio State.
All right. Let's
go.
do
Which
this.
was
No,
well
you chant.
needed after what Ohio State did in Norman last year or the year before.
Yep.
And looking forward to the Bedlam game where Oklahoma State and OU's going to
Yes.
be undefeated.
Don't
I guess
overlook
they're
the Longhorns.
Texas OU weekend.
Herman's a
Who
good
took
coach
USC
'cause I'm
to
a
the
Coug
edge.
Also, you know, I got my doctorate
Oh, my
at U of
gosh.
H, but I like Herman at Texas. But he's 2 years out of having the program he needs.
Yeah.
Don't
So-
disagree with that comment. But
OU
you know, Texas
OU
will
chant.
surprise some people in
OU
the next
chant.
2 years.
Surprises a couple
They had a
years
hell of
ago.
a game
We're
last
number
week,
two.
that's
one
for
of those
sure.
games
Number
can
two.
never-
You know, you
never-
can't-
you gotta
you
leave
can't
the
do-
records
You
at the
can't,
doorstep.
yeah. That's a Texas OU.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But right here I'll give you a bet. I'll give you 7 points and $100.
What?
I don't see
What?
anybody stick
Texas
Texas
OU?
and OU.
Texas Gaming Commission, please don't listen to
I
this.
think the line's going to be greater than
Well, then
7.
let's go 10.
Well, I think
Look
it's
at that.
greater than
14.
10.
Well, I'll tell
I'm
you
trying to
what,
think of
14.
what Vegas is going to say.
No, I'm not going to go.
Ah.
You're afraid of
Hey,
4 points.
wait a minute. What happened to a W is a W, whether it's 1 point or 14 points?
We're talking
They're
Texas.
all up
We're
on
talking
numbers.
Texas
I
OU.
did. I gave you 2 offers. Well, wait a minute. Y'all
That's
were
high
the
school
ones
football.
all, what about Texas? What about Texas?
Well, that's
I said they're 2 years out. And they go, oh, no. Oh, no, they might not.
we have opened a Pandora's box, baby.
Let me tell you, the T-Sips and Herman are going to be good.
They will be.
need some-
And that'll be the best
They
thing
don't
for the
have
Big
a
12.
quarterback right now. They got a young kid that we all know about.
Yeah, we
Yeah, we do.
Just give him a little
And he's
time.
played well when
He
he's been
has
on
played
the field.
So, folks, that was extra commentary that wasn't about to happen. So, thank you for that. We appreciate it. All right,
Boomer Sooner.
Boomer.
Turn the mic off.
Kyler Murray's first
Unplug
touchdown.
it. Mike.
3 Allen players were on the field that day.
That's how it works, man.
Yeah.
With 3 good Allen players on the field, you're going to get touchdowns. So.
Absolutely.
Well, don't forget, you got a running back in the backfield from Katy, too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
No.
Was he on the bench?
neither one of those guys impressed me
Hey,
in
he's the
college
only
level
kid in
yet.
college football that can come back from a broken neck and still play football. There's Anderson, and he's one hell of a running back.
There you go.
Rodney? What's his
Yep.
name?
Yeah, that kid's good.
Great parents.
Rodney
great
Allen
kids.
Rippey.
That is a good kid.
Where did Porter go? Where's Porter go?
Porter.
Never mind.
Everybody went blank on that.
Prison.
No, we're not going to
Oh,
say that.
Shucks.
All right.
All right.
Alan,
Thank
don't
you
say
again
that.
for being a guest.
Bookmark,
We
bookmark
appreciate
for
it.
edit.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're not editing any of this.
This is gold.
This is gold. So, again, thank you. Thanks for hosting. So, until next week, folks, it's over. And we're out.